Okay, hello math fans. Today we're going to cover special cases of inequalities. And if you remember when we had back in the day, if I had a problem like 2x plus 3 is equal to 2x minus 6, and you subtracted 2x from both sides, you would have 3, because these cancel out, it's just 0, so you have 3 equals negative 6. And if you remember, 3 is not equal to negative 6, so this was NSB, no solution, baby. Alright, well, and then of course if we had a problem where it came out to be like 3 equals 3, that would be all real numbers. Well, we're going to have something very similar to this, except now we're going to be using inequalities, and we're still going to be doing, it's still the same idea. If the variable cancels out, that's really key. If the variable cancels out and you just have numbers, you're going to compare the two numbers to see if it's true. If it's true, it's going to be all real numbers. If it's false, it's going to be no solution. So let's give it a shot here and try a problem. If I have 2x plus 3 is less than or equal to 2x minus 7. So my suggestion is move the x's over, and you can actually tell right away that this is going to be a special case because I have 2x and 2x on both sides. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides, and you get 3 is less than or equal to negative 7. Okay, obviously that's false. 3 is greater than negative 7, so if that's false. So the answer to this one is NSB, no solution, baby. Now, the only additional thing is you're going to have another blank where you actually have to graph your solution. So this is what's going to go in the answer blank, and then you have your number line here. And what I require for a number line is you actually have to tell me on the number line no solution, and basically put a 0 with a slash through it, and that just means no solution. Okay, so this is required for no solution, the answer and the number line. All right, so let's try another one here. If I have 5x minus 4 is greater than 5x minus 5. So once again, I'll subtract 5x from both sides, and then I get negative 4 is greater than negative 5. So negative 4 is more positive, so it is greater. So this is true. So your answer for this problem on the answer blank is all real numbers. Okay, now how do you graph that? Again, here's your number line. And you got to put one value on there. I usually ask for 3 values, but you're not graphing one single number. So you have one number on there, and then it's basically a line above it. Okay, so that's your solution, that line above it. So that is required. This all real number symbol, or writing all real numbers, and then this number line right here. That's how you represent all real numbers on a number line. So let's say we have a problem like this. 2x plus 7 is less than or equal to 2x plus 7. Well, we subtract 2x again, and we have 7 is less than or equal to 7. Well, is 7 less than or equal to? Well, it's actually equal to, which is that's what that bottom piece is right there. So this is still true. So once again, the answer is all real numbers, and a graph will look like this. Now let's say instead of that problem, it was 2x plus 7 is less than 2x plus 7. And you subtract the 2x, and you get 7 is less than 7. 7 is not less than 7. It's less than or equal to, but it's not less than 7. So this is false. And so your answer would be NSB, no solution, baby. And then again on your number line, you will have a slash mark, 0 with a slash mark through it. So those are your special cases. But you have to remember it's when the variable cancels. Okay, very quickly, people sometimes get confused and they get a problem like this. 2x plus 7 is less than or equal to x plus 7. And they subtract 7 from both sides, and they get 2x is less than or equal to x. And they look at this problem, they go, oh, this has got to be no solution because there's no more number here, and 2x is not less or equal to x. They really don't know what it is. But you cannot make it. You cannot make a conclusion until the variable is on one side, until you've moved it all over. And you cannot, please do not divide by 2 here. You should remember you always add and subtract to move the variables to one side and the numbers to one side. And your very last step then is multiply and divide. I still have x on one side and 2x on the other side, so I am not done adding and subtracting. I will subtract x from both sides, and I will get x is less than or equal to 0. That is actually a solution. It's not no solution unless the variable cancels out. So that was what goes in the answer blank. And then if I graph this, I have 0, -1, and 1, solid dot, and it points that way. All right. So if the variable cancels, it's no solution or all real numbers. If the variable doesn't cancel, you still have a 1x. Even if it's equal, doesn't matter if it's equal to 0, -1, you still have a solution. Okay, it's very important. So don't just get thrown off by that. So same thing. If I would have, if after I did all that work, I had 5x is less than -2x. Okay, again, you have to realize, even though I don't have any numbers there, the variable is still not on one side. So I need to add 2x to both sides, and I would get 7x is less than 0. Divide by 7. X is less than 0. Remember, 0 over 7 is 0. And then my graph actually would be exactly the same as that. It would be pointing the same way, except it would be an open dot. So here I can graph it real quickly. 0, -1, 1, and it's an open dot pointing that way. That's it. One last example. What happens if the problem looked like this? 2x is less than or equal to 5x. And remember, as I always told you, move your variable over to the left-hand side, so you subtract 5x from both sides, and you have -3x is less than or equal to 0. Once again, it's not no solution. In fact, we're not even done solving the problem. The last step you have to do is you have to multiply or divide to get rid of that coefficient in front of the x. So in this case here, we're going to divide by -3 and x, and now the main thing here is when you divide or multiply by a negative, you have to flip around the inequality sign. So I'm going to flip around the inequality, and it's going to point that way, and now that's my answer. X is greater than or equal to 0. And then a number line. You're going to have 0, -1, 1, and solid dot, and points that way. And that's your solution to that problem. So don't get confused by no solution, all real numbers. The variable has to cancel. The variable cancels, and you just have numbers left, like 5 is greater than 3, or 2 is less than or equal to -6. That's when you're going to have no solution or all real numbers. Is 5 greater than 3? Yes. All real numbers. Is 2 less than or equal to -6? No. So it's no solution. That's pretty much you have to remember. Well, that's it. Have a good day. Bye-bye.